Here we go. Time to bundle up again. After what felt like a roller coaster weather week between spring and winter temperatures, the cold is coming back to start our week. You can certainly feel it out there now, and you'll feel it even more as we move through the night. Good evening and welcome to the Fox 8 10 o'clock news. I'm Natalie Wilson.
And I'm Neil McNeil. Certainly not the weekend to go out. Meteorologist Charles Ewing joins us here off the top. So how cold is it going to get?
Hey Neil, yeah, awfully chilly first thing on your Saturday morning, like you were saying. You better not go outside without your heavy coat because you're going to need it. Numbers currently at this point mainly into the 30s across our area, going down and going down fast. 38 right there in Burlington, 35 well below freezing on top of beach, right? 15 degrees. Looks like some good conditions to make some snow at all the resorts. Our winds still kind of brisk from the northwest, roughly around 10 to 15 miles per hour in our winds, helping to add a little to the air. When you go out there, it feels like 28 degrees right here at Danville, back in Boone. It feels like 9, so winter is back. We've gotten spoiled by the very warm temperatures, but yeah, just a reminder, it's February, it's wintertime. Thankfully, as we go through the night, our winds will settle down, so first thing on Saturday morning, when you step outside, that 27 will feel like it, 27 degrees. Now stay with us, another chilly night is in the forecast, followed by a very nice warm-up. More about that warm-up in our extended forecast.
Hey, we're gonna do the dive, that's what I'm talking about. Hey.
An 8-year-old girl celebrating a milestone with the nurses and doctors who've taken care of her for the past 3 weeks. Kira Hinton was shot while sleeping in her bed on Autumn Drive in Northeast Greensboro back on January 25th.
Tonight, Fox 8's Caroline Boyer learned she's making major strides, but the family needs your help to get the closure they need.
Natalie Neal, this video of Kira as she took her way, her first step in a long road to recovery. While the 8-year-old is healing, her dad's information police officer not found. Stoppers has only gotten 1 tip so far, which didn't provide any leads in this case.
There were multiple people that I was told that was outside that night, the shooting, so it's hard to believe that nobody.
Almost 1 month since bullets flew through this home on Autumn Drive and hit Kira Hinton in the face while she slept in her bed. The 8-year-old's father, Michael Hinton, doesn't know who pulled the trigger.
That right there is probably the most frustrating, angry thing that I ever could even imagine, that not even a ballistic was found, not even a fingerprint was found. Hard to believe when there was many gunshots that were fired.
He's asking you to put yourself in shoes and report no to crime. He's the responsible.
What if this who was gunned down in their sleep?
Patricia Pittman knows how beneficial those tips can be.
Using cameras, it just were able to help my family solve this murder.
Her nephew, James Goolsby, was murdered in March of 2022. A tip submitted to Crime Stoppers about another homicide helped police link James' murder and 2 murders to the same person.
I'm very thankful because without that, my family wouldn't know where my nephew was.
She's encouraging others to come forward to give other families closure.
If you know something, don't be afraid to say something. That's my thing. You'll never know if it could happen to you.
I ask that you come forward. My daughter asks that you come forward, because the only way that we can properly really recover and really heal is knowing that the person who did this is behind bars and justice has been served.
This is the number you can call if you know any information about who was involved in the shooting, which left Kira in pain, needing several surgeries, struggling to eat, and living in the hospital for several weeks. It's 336-373-1000. Again, that's 336-373-1000. Crime Stoppers is offering a $5,000 reward for helping law enforcement. Natalie.
Caroline, thank you so much. Good to see a cure making progress. Let's hope some tips come in soon. Well, there have been at least 8 drive-by shootings in Winston-Salem so far this year. The latest one we brought to you, breaking news during this news night, were raised by a bullet and 2 others were taken in critical condition. At apartments where shooting in just 3 days. Neighbors tell us they violent. Investigators got to the scene. They saw a man who'd been shot sitting in a chair outside and found another man who was shot lying in the parking lot. A third man was found on the porch, but he told officers he was grazed by one of the bullets. Officers spoke to a witness about 2 miles away from the scene who says he saw a man on an ATV speed through the area of Old Greensboro Road shortly after the shots were fired. They also found a rifle near the apartments. Neighbors say they heard about 8 gunshots starting from the back of the complex and that the shots didn't stop until the shooters got to the entrance.
It's scary. I can't afford to. It's a death trap.
A spokesperson with the Winston-Salem Police Department says they are putting all their efforts into keeping the city safe, but they can't do it alone. They need your help. If you have any information about this shooting, call the Winston-Salem Police Department or Crime Stoppers.
It's a big change for a murder case out of Davidson County that's gotten international attention. This afternoon, a judge granted a request for the attorneys of Molly Corbett and Thomas Martins to move their murder trial from Lexington to Winston-Salem. Corbett and her dad were found guilty in a previous trial in the murder of her husband, Irish businessman Jason Corbett. They claim they acted in self-defense. The 2 were convicted of second-degree murder in 2017, but the North Carolina Court of Appeals overturned the convictions. Their new trial is set for the week of June 26th in Forsyth County Court.
Tomorrow, family and friends will remember the life of a 14-year-old taken by gun violence. 14-year-old Tron Davis Jr. died after being shot on North Church Street at the New Irving Heights apartment in Greensboro. The shooting on February 5th. He died at a hospital on the 7th. He attended Swan Middle School and played football. His mother's a big had a smile on his face. She says they do not live where the shooting happened, but it was a hangout spot for many of his friends. Tron's funeral will be in his hometown.
Burlington Police Chief Brian Long has announced he's retiring. Long's been in law enforcement for 28 years. As of tonight, we're waiting to hear more on his next steps. No word on when his last day will be. This, interestingly enough, comes the same week the city of Mebbane's police chief, Terry Caldwell, announced he'll retire in July. Well, after sitting vacant for a decade, an iconic high-rise building in downtown High Point's moving closer to becoming a spot to hang out, shop, eat, and for some, call home. The former Culp and GE Place West building on North Main Street. It's perhaps known for its glass pyramid over a sunken plaza that used to be the home of Noble's restaurant. Plans now call for it to be redeveloped into a residential structure that will also host retail stores and restaurants on the lower level. There's the pyramid right now. The building was donated to the nonprofit development organization Forward High Point several years ago, but it's been sitting here mostly vacant again for a decade. The CMC Development Group out of New York City and Atlanta has a contract to buy the place. It's still trying to work out some specifics, including how much parking it needs with Forward High Point in the city, which owns the big parking deck next door. But it hopes to start work on the building in the next couple. Everyone agrees it'll be a key to dipping this part of down.
This building is really good. It's kind of going downhill. To see that have a plan and have a revitalization purpose, and then one day, hopefully in the next few years, to see people going in that, it really does provide a good, heartwarming feeling to what we do in High Point.
Building's actually about 50 years old. It has 8 floors and 135,000 square feet.
We really have always wanted to be what's considered a third space. So if you're not at work or if you're not at home, you have a place to come and hang out and meet other creatives or meet other people that you can really enjoy being.
And as of tonight, you have another Enjoying live music in the Triad along with a nice cup of joe tonight. Common Grounds hosted a grand opening at its new location in Greensboro. It's on the 600 block of South Elm Street downtown. Common Grounds is known for its open mic night, and in addition to its coffee and espresso collection, beer, wine, and baked goods are available too.
Yeah, Common Grounds has its original location on Walker and Elam near UNCG in Greensboro too. It's the second location. Well, for the thrill of it, that's what a man told authorities after they say he tried to murder a woman. Stick around for this troubling case out of the southern Piedmont.
Plus, you could call it a heartwarming sign of the times. Later on the Fox 8 10 o'clock news, the generous gift, making sure students can afford to eat at school.
Thank you, Triad, for your overwhelming support of the Give a Kid a Coat campaign.
Because of your generosity, thousands of coats are helping to keep people warm right here in the Triad.
Thank you for helping us share a warm feeling with families across the Triad.